And before your first meal, your body is already making a series of decisions about alertness, movement, digestion, and energy. But the way you spend those first few minutes can either support that transition or make it feel abrupt, sluggish, and disconnected. And that's why today we're going to examine what happens when you get natural morning light and move gently before breakfast, and what this routine can and cannot change inside your nervous system. This is not about forcing yourself into an extreme fast. It is not about exercising until you feel exhausted. And it is not about pretending that one morning habit can repair every problem associated with aging, stress, poor sleep, or digestion. The real question is more precise. What happens when light, movement, and food arrive in a particular order during the first part of the day? That question matters because the transition from sleep to wakefulness is not instantaneous. Even after your eyes open, your brain, heart, blood vessels, muscles, and digestive tract are still adjusting to the demands of being awake. The first minutes of the day are a biological transition, and during that transition, something as simple as stepping into natural light and taking a gentle walk may provide your body with information it can use. Not a miracle, a signal. To understand why, we need to begin before the walk, before the light, and before breakfast. During sleep, your body operates under a different set of priorities. Your muscles are relatively still. Your metabolism changes. Your body temperature follows a daily rhythm. Your heart rate and breathing may become slower and more variable, especially during deeper stages of sleep. The autonomic nervous system continues working throughout the night, but it does not behave exactly as it does during the day. The autonomic nervous system is the part of your nervous system that regulates functions you do not consciously control, such as heart rate, blood pressure, digestion, pupil size, sweating, and breathing patterns. It is not a simple on and off switch. It is more like a control room constantly adjusting dozens of systems at once. During sleep, the control room reduces the body's emphasis on movement, rapid decision-making, and interaction with the outside world. When you wake, those priorities begin to change. Your brain starts evaluating the environment. Your eyes begin taking in light. Your muscles prepare for movement. Your cardiovascular system adjusts to standing. Your attention becomes more active. Your digestive system waits for information about whether food is coming. This is why the first few minutes after waking can feel different from the rest of the day. You may be awake, but not fully alert. You may be standing, but still feel physically slow. You may be thinking clearly, or you may feel as if your mind has not completely arrived yet. That feeling does not automatically mean something is wrong. It is often the result of a normal transition. The mistake is assuming that waking up means every system in the body immediately reaches full daytime performance. It does not. Your body needs cues. One of the most important cues is light. Light is not only something you see, it is also information that reaches the biological clock located in your brain. This clock helps coordinate daily patterns in sleepiness, alertness, body temperature, hormone release, and metabolism. Scientists often refer to these roughly 24-hour patterns as circadian rhythms. The word circadian simply means about a day. Think of your circadian system as a timing network. It does not control every event by itself, but it helps coordinate when different processes are more likely to occur. Morning light is one of the strongest environmental signals available to that timing network. When light enters your eyes, specialized cells in the retina send information to the brain's central biological clock.
That signal helps the clock understand where you are in the day.
It is similar to receiving a timestamp. The light does not force your body to become energetic instantly. It does not guarantee perfect sleep that night, but it gives the brain a clearer indication that the night has ended and the active part of the day has begun. This is especially relevant when your mornings are spent in dim, indoor lighting. A dark bedroom, followed by a dark hallway, a dim bathroom, and several hours in front of a screen may not provide a strong contrast between night and day. Your eyes may be open, but your biological environment can still feel like an extension of the night. Outdoor light is usually much brighter than indoor light, even when the sky is cloudy. That does not mean you need to stare at the sun. You should never look directly at the sun, and bright light should be approached carefully by anyone with a condition that makes them unusually sensitive to light. The practical idea is simpler. When it is safe and comfortable, allow ordinary outdoor light to reach your eyes indirectly while you go about your morning. You might stand near an open window, walk outside, sit on a balcony, or take a slow walk around the block. The purpose is not to challenge yourself. The purpose is to give your nervous system a clearer morning signal. But light is only the first part of the process. The second part is movement. After several hours of lying down, even a healthy body may feel stiff. Your joints have moved less. Your muscles have been relatively inactive. Your circulation is adjusting as you change from lying down to sitting and then to standing. A gentle walk changes the information arriving from your body. Your feet send signals from the ground. Your joints report position. Your muscles begin contracting. Your breathing becomes slightly deeper. Your heart adjusts to a mild increase in demand. Your eyes scan the environment. Your brain receives evidence that the body is no longer resting in bed. This is one reason movement can make you feel more awake even before you have consumed anything. The effect is not necessarily caused by burning a large number of calories. A 5 or 10-minute walk is not a metabolic punishment for the previous day. It is a transition. It tells the body, through many small signals at once, that it is time to coordinate movement. That coordination involves the nervous system, but the word change needs to be used carefully. A brief walk does not permanently reset your nervous system. It does not erase chronic stress. It does not automatically balance every hormone. And it does not guarantee that you will feel energetic every morning. What it may do is increase alertness, reduce the abruptness of the transition from sleep to activity, and help you establish a consistent rhythm. The difference between a dramatic claim and the useful one is important. A dramatic claim says, "This resets your nervous system." A more accurate explanation says, "This gives your nervous system consistent timing and movement cues during the transition into the day." That may sound less exciting, but it is more useful because it reflects how the body actually works. Your nervous system responds to patterns. A single morning can feel different, but repeated routines provide repeated information. Now we reach the part of the title that often creates confusion. Doing this before breakfast. Why might the order matter? Food is not simply fuel dropped into an empty container. Eating changes the state of the body. When you eat, your digestive system becomes more active. The stomach begins processing the meal. The intestines adjust their movement. Blood flow is redistributed. Hormonal signals help coordinate the handling of nutrients. The nervous system participates in this process through communication between the brain, the gut, and the enteric nervous system. The enteric nervous system is the network of nerve cells embedded in the digestive tract. It helps coordinate movement and secretion inside the gut. You can think of it as a local control system for digestion. It communicates with the brain, but it also performs many tasks within the digestive tract itself. After breakfast, your body is managing two broad demands at the same time: alertness and digestion. Before breakfast, the body has one less major demand to coordinate. That does not mean you are in a special state of biological perfection. It simply means your digestive system has not yet been asked to process a meal. For some people, gentle movement before eating feels comfortable and energizing. For others, it creates hunger, weakness, nausea, or irritability. Both experiences are possible. The body does not follow one universal morning schedule. A person who slept well, is hydrated, and is accustomed to moving before eating may feel comfortable taking a short walk on an empty stomach. Someone who slept poorly, takes glucose-lowering medication, has a history of dizziness, or simply feels unwell without food, may need breakfast first. The absence of breakfast is not automatically beneficial, and the presence of breakfast is not automatically harmful. The useful question is not, should everyone delay breakfast? The useful question is, what sequence allows this individual to wake, move, and function safely? This distinction becomes especially important when people hear that fasted exercise increases fat burning. There is some evidence that aerobic exercise performed in a fasted state can increase the amount of fat used as fuel during that exercise session, compared with exercising after a meal. That is a real physiological observation, but it is an observation about what fuel is being used during a specific period of activity. It does not prove that fasted exercise produces greater long-term fat loss. It does not prove that it improves health for everyone. It does not mean breakfast should be skipped. And it certainly does not mean that feeling dizzy or shaky is a sign that the routine is working. A short walk before breakfast may be valuable because it gets you moving, exposes you to morning light, and creates a regular start to the day. The fact that you have not eaten yet may be a secondary detail. In other words, the behavior may work because of the movement and timing, not because an empty stomach is magical. This is the first practical conclusion. If you want to try the routine, do not begin by trying to extend a fast. Begin by creating a gentle transition. Wake up. Sit for a moment if you need to. Drink water according to your normal needs. Get ordinary morning light. Move at an easy pace. Then eat when your body needs food. That is the minimum effective version. It is deliberately simple, but there is a second mechanism hiding inside this sequence. Morning light and movement do not only affect alertness, they also influence the relationship between your brain and your body. Your nervous system is constantly receiving information from the heart, lungs, muscles, joints, skin, and digestive tract. This information is sometimes called interoceptive or sensory feedback. Interoception is your brain's perception of what is happening inside the body. You may not consciously notice every change in blood pressure or breathing, but your brain is still receiving those signals. When you stand up, your blood vessels adjust. When you walk, your muscles send feedback. When your breathing changes, the brain registers that change. When light enters your eyes, the circadian system receives time information. These signals overlap. They help the brain build an internal picture of the body's current state. This is why a morning walk can feel mentally different from simply walking around your home to find your phone. The outdoor environment gives your eyes distance and light. The ground gives your feet changing sensory information. Your breathing and pace become more regular. Your attention begins to orient toward the world outside the bed and bedroom. Again, this does not mean the routine cures anxiety or depression. It means that the brain is receiving a richer set of wakefulness signals. For someone over 40, that can matter because sleep quality, muscle stiffness, blood pressure regulation, and energy levels may change over time. Aging does not mean the nervous system stops adapting, but it does mean that abrupt transitions may be felt more strongly by some people. Standing quickly may cause lightheadedness. A sudden intense workout may feel harder than expected. A large breakfast may cause uncomfortable fullness. A poor night of sleep may affect the entire morning. A slower transition gives you an opportunity to notice what state your body is actually in before demanding performance from it. This is not weakness, it is feedback. Imagine two people waking at the same time. The first remains in a dim room, checks stressful messages immediately, drinks strong coffee quickly, and rushes into a demanding task without moving much. The second opens the curtains, steps outside, walks slowly for several minutes, and eats a normal breakfast afterward. Neither person is guaranteed a perfect day. The second routine is not a treatment for every problem, but the nervous system receives different signals. The first person begins the day with mental stimulation and urgency before the body has fully transitioned into activity. The second person creates a gradual bridge from sleep to wakefulness. The difference may be subtle. Subtle does not mean irrelevant. Many biological systems are shaped by repeated small signals rather than occasional dramatic events. But we also need to discuss caffeine. Some people believe the entire benefit comes from delaying coffee or refusing to drink it before breakfast. That conclusion is not supported by the evidence we are discussing. Coffee affects alertness, and caffeine can influence heart rate, anxiety, digestion, and sleep, depending on the person and the dose. But it is not the central mechanism of this morning routine. If coffee makes you feel uncomfortable on an empty stomach, eating first may be reasonable. If you tolerate it well, there is no need to treat coffee as a moral failure. The more important question is whether caffeine is interfering with sleep, increasing anxiety, worsening reflux, or causing unpleasant heart sensations. A routine should be judged by how it affects your actual body, not by internet rules about the perfect time to drink coffee. Now consider digestion. Some people experience morning bloating, reflux, or a sense of heaviness after eating quickly. A gentle walk before breakfast may feel more comfortable because it gives the body time to transition before digestion becomes active. But this should not be turned into a claim that walking before breakfast heals the digestive system. It does not. Digestive symptoms can have many causes, including meal composition, portion size, medication, stress, sleep, reflux, constipation, food intolerances, and medical conditions. A morning walk may support regular movement and may feel comfortable, but persistent symptoms deserve proper evaluation. The gut and nervous system communicate constantly, yet that communication is not a reason to blame every digestive symptom on stress or to replace medical care with a routine. This is where scientific honesty becomes practical. If the evidence is strong, we can say so. Light clearly acts as a timing cue for the circadian system. Regular physical activity is broadly associated with important health benefits. The transition from sleep to wakefulness involves changes in autonomic activity. Eating activates digestion and changes the body's metabolic state. These are well-supported ideas, but other statements require more caution. We cannot say that a short, pre-breakfast walk permanently changes the nervous system. We cannot say that it prevents dementia, heart attacks, diabetes, or digestive disease. We cannot say that it produces superior weight loss simply because more fat is used during the activity. And we cannot assume that the same routine is safe or helpful for every person. There is also a measurement problem. When scientists talk about the nervous system, they may be referring to different things: circadian timing, heart rate variability, sympathetic activity, parasympathetic activity, alertness, stress responses, or communication between the brain and digestive tract. These are related, but they are not identical. A change in one measurement does not automatically mean the entire nervous system has been improved. For example, heart rate variability can be influenced by breathing, posture, sleep, stress, fitness, illness, and measurement conditions. It is not a simple score that tells you whether your nervous system is healthy. That is why you should be cautious with devices or apps that give a single number and suggest that it represents your entire biological condition. Numbers can be useful. They can also create unnecessary anxiety when interpreted without context. The routine we are discussing should not become another source of pressure. You do not need to measure every heartbeat. You do not need to achieve a specific number of steps before breakfast. You do not need to wait a fixed number of minutes before eating. You do not need to force yourself to exercise while hungry. A useful protocol should make your morning more stable, not more stressful. Here is a conservative version. When you wake, give yourself enough time to sit or stand gradually. If standing causes dizziness, do not rush into a walk. Stabilize yourself and consider discussing recurring symptoms with a healthcare professional. Next, get natural morning light when practical. You can step outdoors or remain near a bright outdoor environment. Do not stare directly at the sun. If you have a condition that causes light sensitivity, or you use medication that affects sensitivity to light, seek individualized advice. Then move gently for about 5 to 15 minutes. Walk at a pace that allows comfortable conversation. You could also use easy mobility movements, walk indoors, or perform light household activity. The goal is not exhaustion. The goal is to bring the body from stillness into motion. After that, eat according to your hunger, schedule, and health needs. If you feel normal and prefer to wait a little before breakfast, that may be reasonable. If you feel weak, shaky, nauseated, unusually anxious, or lightheaded, eat and stop the activity. Those symptoms are not proof that you are burning more fat or improving your nervous system. They are signals that the current approach may not be appropriate for you. People with diabetes, particularly those using insulin or medications that can cause low blood sugar, should be especially careful with exercise and delayed eating. The combination of medication, fasting, and physical activity can affect blood glucose. Do not change medication doses based on a video. Discuss the timing of meals and exercise with your healthcare team. Anyone with significant cardiovascular disease, fainting, chest discomfort, unusual shortness of breath, or a recent medical event should seek individualized guidance before beginning a new exercise routine. People with balance problems should choose a safe environment and may prefer indoor movement. And if you have persistent reflux, pain, unexplained weight loss, bleeding, repeated vomiting, or symptoms that are getting worse, a walk before breakfast is not a substitute for medical evaluation. There is also no requirement to perform this routine every single day. Consistency can be helpful, but flexibility is part of a healthy routine. If you slept badly, feel ill, or have an unusually demanding morning, a shorter walk may be enough. If the weather is unsafe, indoor light and gentle movement can still provide part of the transition. If you need to eat immediately after waking, eat immediately. The routine should adapt to you, not the other way around. After a few weeks, you may notice that the routine makes mornings feel more organized. You may feel more awake after light and movement. You may find that your appetite appears more naturally. You may sleep better if the morning light helps reinforce a regular schedule. But you may also notice no dramatic difference. That is normal. The nervous system is not designed to deliver a cinematic transformation every time you take a walk. Much of biology works through small adjustments that become meaningful because they are repeated. The benefit may be less about a sudden change and more about reducing friction between one state and the next. Sleep to wakefulness, stillness to movement, darkness to daylight, resting digestion to active digestion. A routine can give those transitions a clearer order. And now we can return to the question we began with. Does your nervous system change when you get light and move gently before breakfast? Yes, but not in the exaggerated way the title might suggest. Your circadian system receives a morning time cue. Your muscles and joints send movement information to the brain. Your cardiovascular system adjusts to standing and walking. Your alertness may increase. Your digestive system remains in a different state until food arrives. And if you repeat the pattern consistently, these signals may help organize your daily rhythm. But the routine does not reset your entire nervous system in one morning. It does not guarantee weight loss. It does not replace treatment. It does not make breakfast unnecessary. And it does not need to be extreme to be useful. Tomorrow morning, try the minimum version. Wake gradually.
Get safe, ordinary morning light. Move gently for a few minutes. Then eat when your body needs food. Notice how you feel, not as a test you can pass or fail, but as information. The important change is not that you force your body into a perfect schedule. It is that you begin to recognize the conversation already happening between light, movement, the brain, the heart, and the digestive system. Before breakfast, your body is not waiting in silence. It is already adjusting.
And when you give it a clear morning signal instead of an abrupt demand, you may make that transition a little more coordinated, a little more comfortable, and easier to understand.